Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. In today's video, we are going to start with a new chapter that is quadratic equations. So let's begin. Now first, before starting this chapter, we need to know some basics about this chapter. You can call this the introduction. Okay, so let's talk about the conditions for a quadratic equation. Okay, so a quadratic equation is always like this. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, this format never changes and there should always be the highest power, the degree must always be 2. That's it, that is compulsory. Okay, if you find another, let's say quadratic equation or some other equation that doesn't have it, that doesn't have 2 as its highest power, then it's not a quadratic equation. Okay, then A, sorry, A, B, C all should belong to real numbers. Okay, and A should not be equal to 0. This is the condition. Okay, this one and this one. Both of them are the conditions that you need to remember while checking if this is a quadratic equation or not, because there are questions on this chapter that comment whether the following equations are quadratic or not. Okay, so keep these two in mind. And then let's talk about variables. Sorry, not variable, coefficients. So the coefficients are A, B, and C. Okay, you can see this is A, sorry, this is B, this is A, right? And here X is the variable. Okay, it is constant, only the power is changing. So they are coefficients. Coefficients. Okay, now suppose let's talk about the solution of a quadratic equation. So you know how to write it. You have learned in the previous classes also, and also in polynomials. You need to write p of x or y or any number, okay, equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, and now if this value is equal to 0, okay, suppose LHS is equal to RHS and it is equal to 0. Only then we can call the solution or the number that we put here, put inside inside the bracket, is the solution of ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, now that was it for the introduction part. Now let's talk about some basic things that you need to know again, like some general facts about quadratic equations. Now you need to remember this one because this one is really important. I will give it a 3 star. Okay, all quadratic equations, let me do it with the yellow pen. Okay, all quadratic equations have, always have, always have only two roots. Okay, and now by roots, what do you understand by roots? Roots can be solution as well. Solution and roots both are the same thing. They will give you the power of, sorry, the value of x. It may be any number, x, y, z, any number, x, y, z. Okay, so that is roots or solution, you can say. So you can say they are interchangeable. Now let's talk about factorization. Now how do we factorize? Now factorization is a simple method. In factorization, or you can say the middle term splitting method. Okay, they are the same thing. Okay, I'll write it over here so you don't get confused. Middle term splitting. Middle term splitting. Okay, both are same. Now here, suppose for example, I have root 2 x square plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equal to 0. Now they are saying find the roots of a quadratic equation by factorization method. Okay, they will specify. And in this chapter, you only have factorization method. And wait, there's another method that you can solve it with, but I will discuss it later in the video. So now, first, splitting the middle term. So just draw a rough line like this, so you know which numbers are you multiplying. So 5, wait a minute, 5 root 2 into root 2 is 10, right? Now if you split 10, what you will get? 5 into 2. Now you must remember that the sum should be equal to the middle term. Okay, should be equal to the middle term. Just one second. Should be equal to the middle term. And the multiplication should be equal to 10. Okay. Or any other number that you find after multiplying these two numbers. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now we have the numbers that we require. So root 2x square plus 5x plus 2x plus 5 root 2 equal to 0. Okay, so now what can we take common? For common, I will use a yellow pen. So here you cannot take anything common, you can only take x. So x is common, root 2x plus 5. Then in this case, in the second one here, what you will take common? Now you can see that you can only take root 2 plus root 2 common here. So root 2x plus 5. Now you must make sure that these two, this one and this one, should be equal. If these two are not equal, then your whole equation, the whole factorization process will be wrong. So somehow find a number that will satisfy these two conditions. Okay, that I have marked in red. Now, if we say, just one second. Yes. Now that we have the required number, now we have factorized it, we need to add these two, x plus root 2 and root 2x plus 5. Okay, since these two are common here, we will take one only here. Okay, so now we got our factors, or you can say roots. So you can write here x is equal to minus root 2. Since it is equal to 0, you can put 0 in front of it and then write the number. So it will be x is equal to minus root 2, and the other one will be minus 5 upon root 2. Okay, so these two are the roots or the solution. Sorry, these are only the roots of the equation. Solution is when you put a specific value. When you put the value of x in this equation and you get the value as 0, LH is equal to RH is 0. That is the solution, right? And when you find roots, they are the value of x, you're finding them. Okay, so this is all about the factorization method, and this is how you're going to solve every single question that you're going to do in this chapter. And now also, if you have roots, there's one more thing that most of the people might miss, even I missed it sometimes, that you need to factorize this number, this one. Okay, so root 2 upon root 2 minus 5 root 2 upon 2. This will be the final answer. Even if you write minus 5 upon root 2, it will be correct. But just, be on the safer side. You can do this step if you remember. If you don't, then this answer is also fine. Now let's talk about quadratic formula. Now quadratic formula is another formula to find the roots. Okay, what we did in the above, by the factorization method, we found the roots or the value of x. Same way, you have to do the same, like not the same, you're given a different formula to find the value of x. Okay, In the end, you will find the same value either by factorization or quadratic formula. But in the question, they might specify to solve it with quadratic formula. Okay, and also in some steps that you need to use quadratic formula because it simplifies the steps. Suppose you have a pretty tough calculation and you can't find it with the factorization method, so you can use quadratic formula. So what is quadratic formula? Let's see. X is equal to minus b plus minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now, there might be a doubt in your mind that why plus minus? Plus minus, it is because in the previous chapter you might have learned alpha and beta, that alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a, right? And we call alpha and beta as the roots of the equation. So alpha, just one second, alpha is equal to minus b plus root d upon 2a. D is the same thing, minus b square, sorry, b square minus 4ac. Okay, it is called the discriminant. And if we talk about beta, beta will be minus b minus root d upon 2a. Okay, these two are important if you want to find, if you get equal roots. Okay, if you get equal roots, then you can only just write the plus and minus version of that number. But if you don't, then you need to do it with this step. Find the value of x, then to find the value of alpha, you need to put plus sign. If you want to find the value of beta, put minus sign over here. That's the only difference. Okay, and it's quite easy to remember. Then you will find the two distinct roots. And now there are also conditions that you need to remember. Okay, so let's talk about the first condition that you're going to see. Now let's talk about nature of roots. Nature, nature of roots. In the question, they might say that find the nature of the roots. So how will you do it? Basically, you need to find the value of discriminant. Discriminant, short form D, equal to b square minus 4ac. Okay, so what is b square minus 4ac? So b is nothing but the coefficients that you find in the quadratic equation. Okay, and ac. Now suppose the first condition is d is smaller than 0. What will be the condition? Then the roots will be non-real, non-real or non-existent, non-real slash imaginary, imaginary numbers. Okay, so there will be basically no root of the equation. Okay, now second is what if what if d is greater than 0? Then you can say the roots are real, roots are real, real and distinct. Wait, let me put and sign here, and distinct. That means they are distinct, they are not the same. Okay, and also if in a question you might get confused at how to write the answer if they are imaginary and non-real, then you can say since the roots are imaginary or non-real, they are non-existent. They do not exist since the value of d is lesser than 0. The roots do not exist. Do not exist. That's a simple answer to the question. And these type of questions are the most simplest to solve. Now let's talk about the third condition. That is, what if d is equal to 0? Now in this case, if d is equal to 0, then you can do one thing. Roots are real, real and equal. Okay, the only difference between these two conditions is that here they are distinct and here they are equal. Okay, so only for the second equation, the problems can be a little tough if they give tricky questions, but for the most of the part, third and first equation are really easy to solve. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe my channel. Till then, tata, bye bye.